coming this summer. Area athletes get pushed to the limit. The ultimate summer blockbuster, more than the score.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I'm your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, Tim O'Neill. How's it going, Tim?
Good. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm doing great actually because it's June. That means it's summertime. It's time for the old summer blockbusters to come out. Tim, I'm love to catch a good movie. Anytime I can get away, you know, we have a young kid, it's hard to do, but look back at so many great summer blockbuster movie quotes over the years. Any stand out to you as a favorite?
Boy, that's a tough question, Steve. There have been a lot of really good ones. Does it have to be just one line, or can it be multiple lines?
It can, it's a longer quote then, yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Well,
Speech, almost?
Maybe a paragraph, like a monologue almost, maybe
Okay.
a speech.
You perform it and let me see if I can guess it.
Okay. So, it's from a while ago.
We're old, it's fine.
I'm going to do my best to act.
Okay.
It's going to be terrible, so I apologize.
Okay.
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Ooh, legendary speech. I think that's from Independence Day.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good. You're pretty good.
Wow.
You're pretty good.
Nailed it.
You know? So,
Ooh, who's the actor who did that?
Bill Pullman.
Is it?
President Bill Pullman.
Yes.
So,
All right.
underrated president.
Indeed.
Yeah. So,
All right.
what about you? You got any that stick out?
I'd have to say one of my favorites of all time would have to be I'm the king of the world! Ah!
Steve.
What?
Steve, that's incorrect. Please sit down, Steve, first of all.
What? Okay, what?
That's incorrect. That movie came out not during the summer.
Wow.
Oh. Titanic?
Yes.
Like a winter
It was
blockbuster?
like a
Is it?
winter blockbuster.
Oh.
Bit of a movie buff, sorry.
I remember I played hooky from school one day, actually, and my sister rented it on the old VHS tape. And I watched it because I was home sick, with nothing to do, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
But what a great line.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's try this again.
Yeah.
All right, ready? This is a really old one. Ready?
Okay.
My favorite movies of all time. I know this one came out in the summer. It is actually considered the very first summer blockbuster. Little known fact. All right, ready? You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I think I know what that one is.
Yeah?
I do. Well, let me talk this one out because there's a couple of possibilities because of the boat.
We should probably get to some actual tri-state sports here pretty soon, so.
It's got to be Jaws, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Jaws.
Okay.
Yes, 1975, the very first, considered to be the very first summer blockbuster.
Classic. That movie gave me nightmares, and I am kind of ashamed to admit that made me scared to even get into pools sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not even a fan of, I'm really not a fan of Deepwater to this day. Don't like it.
I don't want to get eaten by anything, so.
Anyway, all right, now that this silly portion of More Than the Score has commenced, let's look at the summer blockbusters that took place on the soccer field this past week. Dubuque Wahlert boys, Dyersville Beckman girls, in some unbelievably close matchups, and man, you talk about heartbreakers. Let's start with the Wahlert boys.
Couple of absolutely heartbreakers. You're absolutely right, Steve. Dubuque Wahlert last week on Friday, was making its 12th trip to the Iowa High School State Soccer Tournament, and its third in the past 4 years. The Eagles are in the number 2 seed, and we're facing off against number 7 Hudson. And it got off to a great start. Nathan Donovan got taken down right outside the box, got a free kick, and he pushed it past the goalkeeper for an early 1-0 lead just 5 minutes in. Unfortunately, Hudson scored the equalizer about 15 minutes later. The teams went to halftime 1-1. And then in the second half, Donovan gave his team another great scoring chance. He got taken down in the penalty box, and senior captain Trenton Dodds converted for a go-ahead goal. 2-1 at that point, but kind of swung 2 minutes later. Hudson took a shot at the Wahlert goal. It deflected off a Wahlert defender and into the net for the game-tying goal. And then with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left, Hudson scored to take a 3-2 lead. That was the final. Unfortunately for Wahlert, there were a bunch of other close chances, a couple of incredibly near misses, including one in the first half. Diego Lopez corner kick from the corner, sent it into the box, kind of bounced around a little bit, got to the goal line, and just before it fully crossed over, maybe it did fully cross over, a Hudson defender was able to clear it out, get it away, and no goal was awarded. And then in the second half, during the run of play, Nathan Donovan took a shot. It hit the crossbar. It bounced straight down and incredibly just rolled along the goal line before it was cleared away. Donovan told me after the game that the goalkeeper told him after the game that the ball was in, but unfortunately it was not a goal. And the Golden Eagles finished the season 12-6. They graduate 8 starters from this team, so it's going to be kind of another rebuild, reload project next year, but they do return some contributors. But obviously, that's a tough way for those seniors to go out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and head over to Beckman girls. Kind of the same story, just a tough situation. This close to finally getting to state.
Yeah, Beckman girls, they got knocked out by Wahlert in the first round of the playoffs last year, returned a large number of players from that team. They made it to the regional final this year. They were playing at number 3 ranked Center Point Urbana on Monday night. It was a rematch from about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Center Point Urbana won that one 1-0, just a couple of minutes into the second overtime. And this one was even closer. It was scoreless through regulation, both overtimes. They went to a penalty kick shootout. It opened from there. Tara Hansel made her kick in the first round. Paige McDermott made her PK. But unfortunately, after that, CPU's goalkeeper made the next 2 saves. And then the Stormer Pointers made all 4 of their PKs to seal it 4-2. The Blazers ended the season 12-7. Unfortunately, they are still searching for that first trip to the state soccer tournament now in Des Moines. But so close, and so heartbreaking for both of those teams to come so close to at least moving on towards those goals that they had set at the beginning of the season.
Sure, and with Wahlert losing their quarterfinal, kind of a unusually short trip for you down to state. Usually our teams are making extended runs. So.
Yeah, well, it's nice. I mean, I've talked to you about this before. 10 years I've covered soccer for the TH, and last year was the only year that we didn't have a team qualify for either the boys or the girls state tournament. The 2 years before that, we had a team win state championships, back-to-back undefeated perfect seasons. So, we've had a lot of success in the tri-state area in soccer, and hopefully that continues. Yes, usually it's beautiful weather. You're down there for multiple days, and you come back looking like a lobster, but... Thankfully today, this time I did not. I tell you what, it was a very warm day. I double applied the sunscreen, both before the game and at halftime, and I don't think it worked too much. I still got a little bit of a burn, but boy, if I was down there for 3 days, I would be fire engine red right now.
Indeed. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Telegraph Herald. More Than the Score. I'm your host, Steve Ortman, alongside Tim O'Neill. We will see you next week.